Hey everybody, happy Monday. It's Monday again. That means I'm in my nutrition office at work, the one day I work. So that usually gives me, though, some ideas of what I'm going to talk to you all about because this is my day where I typically talk to people about their diets, and I'm the evil dietitian that tells people what they can't have. But it's for your own good and it's to help you. So if you are not familiar with who I am or what I do, my name's Jillian, and I am a dietitian and an entrepreneur. And what I spoke with somebody today, which actually I haven't really talked to anybody about this type of diet in quite some time. So it was kind of fun to kind of refresh my memory on it, was reflux. And actually the causes of it and what you can do about it. And I think a lot of people don't really think about what kind of habits they have that contribute to reflux. Most of us know what reflux is, and we know that we don't like it, but we don't realize that there's a lot that you can do about it. So yes, one of the causes can be genetic, but there's not that many people I meet that get it for genetic reasons. And believe it or not, there's even a cause that is pretty rare that's caused from food allergies. But chances are, if you're watching me on this live stream, that's not you. If I think most of us have probably at one time in our lives experienced reflux and didn't really want to ever experience that again. And I'm going to give you some common causes of it, and chances are you probably can pinpoint what that might have been for you. Now, I'm not really referring to, let's say you're pregnant. So a lot of you might be pregnant and you've got a physical baby pushing up in your entire digestive system. That's going to cause reflux. And unfortunately, there's not a whole lot you can do about it until you have the baby. And that physical thing is not going to be pushing on your digestive system anymore. But there's some other things that can be causing it, and you're not going to like me when I say this, but it's true, and it's probably one of the most common reasons why I see reflux happen, and that is weight gain or having too much weight. And that's because when people gain weight and they have a lot of abdominal weight, especially when you lay down, even more so, but even just when you have a lot of abdominal weight, it starts pushing all of your organs upward. And all of those organs start pushing and making it hard for your food to go down like it's supposed to. And all of this rides on gravity at first. So you eat, you start chewing your food, you swallow, and the gravity is what initially brings it down. And we have a flap at the bottom of our esophagus that opens up and lets food go down, and then it starts to do its thing. Now, if your flap isn't working correctly, or you have extra weight pushing it upward, it's going to go up your esophagus and back up, and then that's where you get that stomach acid that comes up, and it really feels horrible. If you've ever had it, you know what it feels like. So that's one of the most common reasons why I see people experience reflux, and especially if you've gained a lot of weight in a short period of time, and all of a sudden they start having reflux. So usually, a 10% weight loss even. So maybe, we're not talking a lot here. We're talking a 300-pound person loses 30 pounds is enough to start feeling relief of those symptoms. Now, if you're somebody with a faulty esophagus, so you've got a little flap down there that's just really loose and flimsy, so it just kind of flaps up and you're just already predisposed to reflux happening, that can be in your genetics. It's just how you're built. So what you have to be aware of is that your food choices can trigger it, and your habits of how you eat and when you eat can also trigger it. So remember, you're relying on gravity. This means that you are going to make sure that you don't lay down and for 3 hours after you eat, because you want to make sure you're giving your food plenty of time to get through your digestive system and out of your stomach before you lay down, because if you lay down, all that stomach acid is going to go right back up. This is not usually a problem during the day for people, but it is a problem at dinner time. So that if you go to bed at 10, that means you're not eating after 7. And this is really a good rule of thumb for everybody, because most of us, gravity's not going to be on our side if we eat at 9, 10 o'clock and then go right to bed. It's really not going to feel that great. But this also means that you're not going to eat something and then go hit the couch and start laying down and watching TV, because you're going to start feeling it back up on you, and it's going to feel really, really bad. There's other foods, though, that tend to slow down digestion. So this is high-fat food, fried food, food that's swimming in butter, or any kind of added fats, oils, are going to tend to slow down digestion and back up on you, and can potentially cause the reflux. My allergies are killing me today with the smoke outside and all that, but it is better today. So then we also have things like spicy foods. You probably have experienced this if you have reflux. Spicy foods, citrus and acidic foods. So I'm talking about oranges and pineapples, and tomatoes, tomato sauce, pizza. Pizza is a nice mixture of acidic foods and high-fat foods. So those are some that I can think of on the top of my head. But then there's unlikely things. There's foods that naturally relax that flap at the bottom of your esophagus. That I'm talking about: chocolate, caffeine, coffee, whether it's caffeinated or decaf, and tea. So not herbal teas. Herbal teas are usually fine, but just your regular black tea, and sometimes peppermint. So if you're doing like a peppermint flavored tea or peppermint gum, sometimes that can relax that sphincter at the bottom, or that flap, and can actually cause acid to come back up. Those are unlikely things that people don't realize. When they eat chocolate, they can end up getting reflux. So if you get little triggers and you're not really sure, assess: are you eating citrus, grapefruits, lemons, limes, oranges? Or have you eaten any peppermint? Have you eaten any chocolate? Those unlikely things that might not have been a big fat heavy meal, but it could have been something very small and minute that needs to be cut out of your diet. So it's really not about adding stuff to your diet. It's more about adding habits, losing weight, sometimes exercising and doing healthy habits, making sure you chew your food well and you slow down. So if you want to talk about adding other good habits, not eating when you're stressed out. I know for me, my husband likes to do, sometimes he'll like to add music when we're eating, and my kids will like to have the TV going, and that stresses me out for TV, or for when we're eating. So depends on your personality, but try not to have a lot of music going if it's fast paced, because that could actually cause you to have reflux because you're eating fast. So don't eat fast. Chew your food well. These are common habits that we should all be doing. But if you're predisposed to reflux, those are some things you want to think about. You can, of course, take medications if it's really bad, but those don't always work. My personal favorite, and I know a lot of my oily friends that watch use essential oils, and there's blends that really help. There's ginger that helps, and believe it or not, if you're using pure peppermint, it can help if it's done on your feet or on your abdomen, maybe not ingested. Sometimes people find that if they do it, the peppermint ingested does cause reflux. So you would have to do it with a lot of water, because it actually can settle your stomach, but it can cause reflux as well. So for some people it works better on topically. So you just kind of have to do a little trial and error and find out what works for you. And if you have it really bad, I know that I have worked with people that had to sleep upright, and you don't want to be there. So if you let reflux go on for decades or years, it can be serious, because all of that acid can end up damaging your esophagus and even put a hole in it. It can can end up where you have to get surgery. So you don't want to end up there. We tend to think of reflux as just something that's really minor, but if you're somebody that suffers with it, then you know what I'm talking about. It can actually cause a lot more issues down the line. So these little minor tweaks, cutting some things out of your diet, figuring out what it is, and losing weight. I'm always going to say losing weight, if you have weight to lose, is what can save you a lot of trouble down the line. So hopefully you found that helpful. If you know anybody that struggles with this, share it out because the woman I shared it with today, it was just a real epiphany for her, and she was really excited to be able to make some tweaks in her diet, because if you have it, it can actually really cause a lot of problems in your day-to-day life, and it really doesn't have to be that way. So hope you're having a good Monday, and hopefully you'll have a good afternoon and good evening. It's already getting close to dinner time here on the East Coast. So thanks for joining, guys. Thanks for the replay viewers, and I will talk to you next time.